Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Wednesday edition of Rasaji Speaks. So happy for you to be with us today. Enjoying Hump Day, as Chin says. Also, don't forget the gathering today at 1 o'clock. Starting to get very interested on that gathering. We'll heat it up last week. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week. Today is title to our episode is Discover Joy, Embrace the Ever-Present Life. We'll have the lady with me today, and I don't reckon anybody would ever question her joy, but Rasaji means God's joy. Let's see what the Psalms say. Let the saints be joyful in the glory and the beauty of things that come. Psalms 149-5, right? Of course, in Romans, they make reference to that. And again, in Psalm 32:11, be glad in the Lord and rejoice your righteousness, a shout of joy in you, all you who are upright at heart. Joy is of the saints, and only they can put it on. The saints referred to as people who have this constant reverence to the Almighty. It's the meaning that Jesus refers to praying without ceasing. In other words, they're in constant dialogue of the divine. Krishna said he would come back 4,500 years ago as Rasad, the bringer of light, the ruler of light. Means that incarnation. Imagine to predict 4,500 years ago how he would come back. Krishna means Christ of Asia. Again, Rasaji full itself means God's joy. God's joy is upon you. Let there be a joyful sound into the Lord. Joy, hope is amazing things that we drive and share with each other when we have that capacity. It's not easy running an organization like the Circle of Chief. Not easy running any organization. Everybody wants their 2 cents worth. Everybody wants to do it their way. Everybody has a tendency to think it's their company. And yet, if they had their company, they'd be doing that company. But it's your joy comes when you turn something that's not vibrating into something that's really good. You transmute to something, right? You take sorrow and you release it into the clouds, like behind me, and it becomes like incense to the Lord. You take pain and you let it go. All of a sudden you can move. It's a joyous feeling. You take an emotional burden on your heart. Could be you lost a loved one. Could be your significant other just broke up with you. See, joy kind of works like Thanksgiving. Scripture says, be thankful in all things, and ye shall be made glorious. Joy and glory go together. How do I transmutate that into? I had an argument recently with a fellow teammate. And I could tell we were moving into shadow retrograde, and they were really wearing their emotions on this me. Their way, and they were barking at me. It was like it really important. It had to be heard right now. They kept getting louder and louder. And I found myself starting to gradually get drawn into that. And I ceased and desist and I backed it away. And then 15 minutes later, I did a webinar. And I guarantee you that not that person, nor anyone in the place knew that Lamaji had just had an argument. I decided to resurrect my joy. It's always a choice, right? To resurrect your joy. Joy is of the saints, and only they can put it on. Peter said, let the noonday sun arise into your hearts. Well, light and joy are both in the light center in the tummy. And when that joy arises into your hearts, and that light arises into your heart, the level and the capacity to love and forgive goes to a higher level. I often wondered about Pope John Paul when he was shot going through the streets of Rome. A couple days later, he's patched up. He's going to be okay. He says, I want to go to the jail in Italy and I want to offer my condolences. I want to offer my forgiveness to the person that tried to kill me. He did. That's exactly what he did 3 or 4 days after he came out of the hospital. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. He allowed his joy to rise, not his anger, not his jealousy, not his territorial roof that the ego wants to defend. See, we get mad at each other because no one can do something better than we can do. And somebody crossed our turf and draw lines in the sand. And it's notoriously this person's fault and that person's fault. It's always their fault, right? It's always their fault. And then one day we take owner responsibility. We talk about owner responsibility, but initially we don't want to take that responsibility. We would rather project the energy outward. Well, this is messing up because so-and-so won't do this or so-and-so won't do that. And not really addressing the real issue. The real issue is you. Who do you see in the mirror? How much Tai Chi Go do you practice? Sometimes just enough to turn somebody's head to get recognition. But do we really mean what we really do? Right? Do we really want the joy of God? And do we really want Our Lady, the Queen of Heaven, to back us up with where we go and what we do? See, I think everything's possible when we surrender to joy. And by the way, it is a choice. It's always a choice. Surrender to joy or get all caught up in the world stuff or someone else's stuff. It's like when they're yelling at you, darn it, don't you recognize my stuff's important? And at that moment, they think their stuff's more important than anything else. A lot of times their stuff is drama. A lot of time they're not getting enough attention at home. They're not getting enough attention at work. They're just not getting enough attention. And they're barking. And they're just ready to just, just consume somebody. And then all of a sudden, there's a shift. There's a really shift. And Shaktipat is a real powerful thing. And by the way, only the saints can truly deliver Shaktipat. The point is, in the beginning, when people reach sainthood, they don't usually stay there very long. They flee there for a moment in time and then they're gone. And they can only deliver the Shaktipat when they're in that state of grace, in that state of joy. For it is of the Father. Oh, Mama, how she knows who is. So important. As we say in India and Tibet, may your joy be full. Grakabusha. May the blessings be to you and to your glorious family. I'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition of Rasaji Speaks. God bless to you and your family.